This video will demonstrate a navigation of the patient's chart. Access your patient's chart by clicking their name on Care Compass. The patient's chart opens. At the top of the screen, we have the menu bar. We can click on a menu item and it'll give us a drop down. We can use this menu to navigate through the chart or perform different functions. Below the menu bar, we have the toolbar. The toolbar is a group of icons that will let you navigate through to different sections of the chart, such as to navigate back to Care Compass, and it also allows us to perform tasks for the patient, such as specimen collection. Below the toolbar, we have the patient banner bar. It's very important that you check this every single time you open a patient's chart, because this will ensure we have the correct chart open. Over to the left-hand side of the screen, we have the patient's demographics, including their name and UR number, date of birth. Below that, we have any allergies that they have. In the middle of the screen, we have their sex, their age and their weight, and if they have any alerts on file, we'll see the word alerts here too. Over to the right-hand side of the screen, we double-check the encounter type here. We can see that this is an inpatient encounter. We see the date the patient was admitted, and if we see no discharge date, that means that the patient is still an inpatient. Below that, it will be documented who the treating clinician is, and below that we see the location, so where this patient's been admitted to. The refresh button is located under the banner bar in the top right-hand corner of the page. And this function is used to update the screen once you've signed for documentation, charted an entry or modified an entry. For information to pull from one screen to another, we must always click refresh. It's important to note though that refresh does not update all sections of PowerChart, it only updates the screen that you're currently on. So whenever you go to a new screen, click refresh, and whenever you've signed or saved an action, always click refresh. Down the left-hand side of the screen, we have the patient menu, and by default, the patient's chart opens up on the patient summary. We can see here that it's divided into tabs: situation background, which has their allergies, alerts and problems, chronic conditions, their histories and any orders that have been placed. On the assessment tab, we can see any assessments that have been completed for the patient, such as their observations and their weights. We can also see a snapshot of the fluid balance chart here and any pathology results. The recommendation tab is where you'll see the recommended care for the patient, such as plans of care. Plans of cares will be covered in another video. There's also a discharge tab, and this is for discharge planning. The patient chart menu has many screens, such as patient information. The Patient Demographics tab is where we'll find their demographics, including their Medicare number. We can also go to the Provider Summary tab, and we can see a summary of every provider who's delivered care for this patient. Another important screen for a nurse is the interactive view. This is where the majority of nurse documentation will occur, and there will be a separate video for interactive view. When you're finished with the patient's chart, close their chart by clicking on this little X here.